What's going on, everybody? This is the episode that you guys get to see Jim Del Monte for the very first time. This isn't going to be a video that I do an official tour, and I'm going to take your questions in a moment. But as you can see, National Fitness Products, our amazing team of installers, just left, and we just finished setting everything up. So nothing's been touched. Everything's brand spanking new. We got Poliquin rack. We've got adjustable benches, dumbbells, barbells, leg extension, leg curl, calf machine, octane trainer, glute ham machine, NM200, which is your free motion cable stuff, and then there's a whole bunch of stuff around the corner, which we'll show you another time, and then there's a ton of accessories hanging out here. So I cannot wait to give you guys a full tour, and better yet, film some videos down here using the equipment, the point of the gym, right? And we got a cool little backdrop now when I'm answering your questions. So welcome to the show. If this is your first time, you join us on a great episode. I'm Vince Del Monte. I take your questions off my Facebook fan page. And we've got some good ones here today. I'm going to knock them out in 60 seconds or less. We'll start off with the hot topic of creatine. Although it's been talked about in a lot of my videos in the past, I'm going to summarize everything you need to know about creatine in 60 seconds or less. And this is for Salmon. Salmon asks, hey Vince, what's the difference between creatine phosphate and monohydrate? What is the best time for taking them? So first off, creatine phosphate is not a supplement. Creatine phosphate is just a stored form of creatine within your muscles. All you guys need to know about creatine is that creatine monohydrate powder is by far the most superior creatine product on the market. It's been scientifically proven, it's been tested, it's been irrefutably shown to be the only creatine product you need. Everything else creatine related is pretty much a gimmick or a marketing ploy. So stick with creatine monohydrate. That's the first thing. In terms of how and when to use it, this all depends on how fast you want to see results. If you look at your intramuscular creatine stores like a gas tank, everybody has different levels based on just what their body has naturally. So some people who don't respond to creatine, their levels are already topped off, and that's what we call non-responders. Some people have very low intramuscular creatine levels, some have medium. For me, what I do is 5 grams pre, 5 grams post-workout, and typically that kicks in after 2 to 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks. Again, it depends on what your normal intramuscular stores are. For guys who want to see results a little quicker, you can do the loading phase, and you'll probably see results within a few days. So this is personal preference, and the bottom line is that you use creatine monohydrate powder, and you don't get too caught up in any of the other products out there, which really are just what I consider bells and whistles. So there you go, creatine monohydrate in probably a little more than 60 seconds. All right, let's move on to another question. This one's from Sanit Pandey. Sanit says, hey Vince, I heard about Insane Rush from you, but don't think I can get it in India. What ingredients should I look for in a pre-workout supplement? You're the man. So Sanit wants to know about Insane Rush. He heard me talking about it. It's a supplement created by Blue Star Nutraceuticals. I actually have some down here. I'll grab it for you in a sec. But he says he can't get that in India, and he wants to know what ingredients should I look for in a pre-workout supplement. You're the man. So, Sanit, the main thing is, in my opinion, the most powerful supplement for increasing muscular endurance, strength, work capacity is what everybody already knows, caffeine. Caffeine acts on your central nervous system. It does two things primarily. It makes you more alert, and it also increases your reaction time. A lot of people also notice that it decreases fatigue, so you can train longer before you actually start noticing that you're getting tired, and a whole host of other benefits. So that's the main thing I would look for in a pre-workout, but then you have to ask yourself, is it worth the amount of money to get a pre-workout if you're just looking for caffeine? Because you could buy like a little bottle with a 6-month supply for literally $7. And as you guys know, most pre-workouts you're looking at spending 40 to 50 bucks. But when you buy the pre-workout, you get a lot of other ingredients that act synergistically with it. Things that I look for in a pre-workout, I like beta-alanine, I like creatine, I also like arginine, cell volumizers. I also like nootropics, things that act on the blood-brain barrier that help increase blood flow to the brain, which enhances your just ability to stay focused, increases your drive. It's going to help you stay more intense while you train in the gym. And everybody knows that what separates the boys from the men is intensity. So a pre-workout is not a bad investment. The one that I've been using and I promoted in a few episodes ago is Adam Cloetz. He's the CEO of Blue Star Nutraceuticals, the Insane Rush product. It's highly concentrated, 1 scoop. This is made in Canada, so he has everything CGMP certified, which basically means what's in the bottle is actually in the bottle, and you know that everything is pure and effective because they test the ingredients and all that good stuff. So the decent investment, 1 scoop pre-workout, it'll last you quite a bit because you're probably only working out 4 or 5 times a week here. So you're getting quite a few servings. I'm not sure, a couple months at least of servings. Yeah, 30 servings. So if you're working out 4 times a week, you know, yeah, you're getting over almost 2 months worth of, almost 2 months worth of pre-workout. So it's pretty good, pretty decent investment there. So we'll move on to the next question. I went over the clock on that one, which I sometimes do. This one's from Mark Kelly. Mark says, hey Vince, my question is about improving recovery. I'm currently taking BCAAs and using a foam roller, but still get bad DOMS, which is DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness, in my hams and glutes after working legs, but nothing in the quads. Do they need to be trained differently? Thanks a lot. So yeah, those things will both make a difference. There has been some research that shows that BCAAs help reduce muscle soreness. And if you've ever used BCAAs, you'll know this for yourself. I can tell you that here's the thing about some supplements. I just want to make a quick note. A lot of people say stuff like, oh, it doesn't make a difference. I've heard a lot of people say BCAAs doesn't make a difference. It's a waste of money. They're worthless. It's a worthless supplement. I've heard people say this. I've heard people say that about glutamine as well. Here's the thing. I can tell you this from my humble experience and take it for what it's worth, but when I use supplements, it's true, sometimes I don't feel anything, but you know when I do feel stuff? When I pull it, when I stop taking it. So I'm going 3 weeks on this awesome program, I'm using my BCAAs, I'm using my glutamine, I run out. I'm like, you know what, I'm not gonna take them next time around. All of a sudden I notice I'm more sore. What's going on? The only thing that changed was I pulled those supplements. So just some food for thought. If you're ever curious to know, maybe I'm just wasting my money on these BCAAs. Maybe I'm just wasting my money on this glutamine and creatine. Pull it. Pull it for 3 to 4 weeks. See what happens, and you'll have some very valuable intelligence on whether or not that supplement may be worth keeping in. So instead of wasting hours reading all these different studies that contradict each other, you can just take 3 to 4 weeks of your life, do a self-experiment, and then you're gonna get some pretty good data. And you can repeat those experiments over and over to see if it was a fluke or maybe if, wow, every time I pull those 2 supplements, I get more sore. This is how I've learned over the last 10 years, and this is how I teach my clients to learn as well. So I trust these are valuable insights for you in making better decisions as you continue training over the years. And it gives you a lot of confidence to know that you can be a part of the training process. You don't have to make your decisions because you heard some dude with 6 PhDs say that it was a complete waste of time, or you heard some armchair expert say it's a complete waste of time. You can say, okay, interesting, but I'm gonna see for myself. Okay, and I've always had that kind of mindset. I've always stayed open-minded. And some things I ended up learning, like I ended up verifying for myself. I started learning, yeah, that kind of stuff, those supplements really didn't do anything for me. But you know what? I'm glad I didn't listen to those guys because these ones actually did make an improvement in my body. And I'm glad I listened to I had the courage to take my own advice and test it out. Okay, so let's go back to Mark Kelly's original question. He just wanted to know basically, do legs need to be trained differently? Quads are predominantly a slow twitch muscle fiber, which is why, you can make amazing gains on your quads doing more, higher reps. If you look at speed skaters, you look at cyclists, almost purely aerobic based activity, yet they have massive quads. Some of these phenomenal athletes who use their quads all the time have better leg development than some bodybuilders. And it's like, well, they don't even hit the weights, but their quads are huge. Why? Because the quads are primarily slow twitch. So there certainly is a degree of truth if you want to get your quads to grow. You know, you don't have to just do super heavy squats. There needs to be a component of your training where you're, putting a lot of volume on them, a lot of tension, a lot of mechanical stress, and you're, getting those reps up there. And you'll notice that your legs start to grow when you do that. In terms of glutes and hams, glutes are kind of combo of both slow twitch, fast twitch. Hamstrings are primarily fast twitch, so when you train them explosively, they are going to be sore. I'll be honest, don't really sweat too much about how sore you are. Just it's a good indicator that you targeted the muscle group. If it's taking longer than 3 to 4 days to recover though from a workout, there's a good chance that your nutrition is probably lacking, so make sure you're getting all your nutrition. Make sure you're getting all your protein. Make sure you're getting your vegetables. You're sleeping, and there's a lot of other things you can do. The things you're doing are great. I would just keep doing them, and not too much. I wouldn't try and control how long you're sore for. Those are kind of things you really can't dictate because you may have just had a really awesome workout. So I honestly, those are just kind of things that I wouldn't even worry about. I'll be honest. Let's call that a show because I went over the clock on I think every question there, and try and get back on track next one. And I want to thank you for joining me for another episode. If you haven't visited my website recently, do that right now. That's your next step. Go to vincedelmontefitness.com, and I've got 3 brand new quizzes there for you to test your knowledge, see how much you really know, and it'll give you a score which I would offer you as a sign of encouragement, because you're going to get an idea of how much more potential you have. I believe that the more you know, the more you grow. So you'll be able to say, oh wow, once I start implementing this new information, at the end of the quiz, what I do is I give you the answers to the correct answers, and I explain why the wrong ones are wrong and the right ones are right, and you'll gain a lot of insights on things you can start to change in your nutrition, and you start getting better results. So those are for you. Those aren't for me to showcase my knowledge. Those are for you to help you. So take advantage of it. Go to vincedelmontefitness.com. That's your next step, and I'll see you guys next time.